we go are back up on the screen. These are the two things that we're going to have for the conversation tonight. The first is, what does being a part of a cooperative mean to you? And the second is, how do you see yourself stepping in today to shape our energy future? And you see, I'm going to move it back.
While
So
we're
that folks
waiting
can see
for
it.
volunteers to enter the center, what we're gonna do is do a little Zoom transition, type transition. We're gonna do a mic check. So if we could do it cooperatively, having people who are volunteering to enter the circle and try to fill these 4 chairs while we transition. And we're gonna be asking folks online to help us do a mic check. They're not starting. So can we have people online do a little mic check?
Mic check, mic check.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sounds so great. All right, we got this figured out. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So,
Two more volunteers?
I'm gonna volunteer.
Oh, wow.
So- do we have people online who wants to enter the circle to answer these 2 questions? To be part of this conversation, let's have a group conversation.
There you go.
If we have someone interested online to join this conversation, please drop in chat.
Nobody else.
Great. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this, because we're doing hybrid and we're trying to maximize everyone's participation here, is we're gonna, well, first, the activity is called stepping into our circle. As we can see, we have circles right here. And circles, we have 2 circles, one inner circle and then one outer circle. We're gonna have 4 people in the inner circle have a discussion about these 2 topics that is projected on the screen. Can we, oh, I need to do that, yes. Okay. Sorry, so I guess somebody's gonna watch chat over there. And we're gonna all sit here and watch the inner circle. Any moment if you move to enter the circle, you quietly stand up and tap the person inside the circle to enter, and you will swap in and out. The idea here is to recognize that we have a huge wealth of knowledge in this entire room, including on Zoom, for everyone to hear what we all have to say. We don't have a whole lot of time because we're pushing up against the time. So we have about 10 minutes. So if everyone can keep it succinct and be active in jumping in and sharing, that would be really great, so we can hear more about who's in the space and what ideas are out there. The objective is to recognize that we have a wealth of knowledge in this room and online, and we can have discussions together. So for those of you who are participating online, the way we're gonna do it is you're gonna drop in chat and say tap, T-A-P, tap. That means you want to tap someone, and I will be tapping you in to the circle. So then what's gonna happen is you're gonna unmute yourself and then speak as you going to hear the conversation going. And folks are gonna have microphones to speak, so our friends online can hear it. So while we're doing this, because we are going on speaker, we would like to kindly ask everyone online to go on mute unless you're ready to speak. And with that, we'll have the inner circle lead us to answer these 2 questions.
Do you have to answer both of them at the same time, or
However
do you
you
like them
want.
just one? Okay.
Whatever you want.
And when you say you, means as personal. Yourself.
Yes, you, yourself. You're speaking for yourself here.
So I'll answer the first question to start off, and to me, being part of a cooperative means so many things. I had a real privilege of being able to have a really conversation today with some comrades about cooperative structures in 2 places, in Cuba and in Chiapas. And cooperatives in both of those places play a really central role in building community stability, in supporting ongoing organizing.
Too close. Okay.
Hello? Is that okay? Supporting community organizing and helping people understand that so many futures are possible. And when I come to spaces like this, I see people from different corners of the Bay Area. You know, some of us might work in the energy space, some of us might work in nonprofits, maybe there's some tech workers in here. I'm not really sure where everyone is really coming from, but it's really beautiful to recognize that we're all coming here with the understanding that there is mutual benefit to be had in organizing and in seeing another future be possible. And we have so much to lose by not being here, but nothing to lose but our chains by not being here. So feeling really, really blessed to be here and really excited to share this with all of you as part of the co-op.
For me, it's an opportunity to be part of this cooperative, to move to a model of enjoying the regenerative energy that's available to us as a community in a way that's not necessarily transactional, but that is based more on affinity and compassion for each other and for this beautiful planet that we share. How will I see myself stepping in? Well, I do have a lot of background in the transactional side. I've come out of corporate America. I've worked in solar for years. I understand a little bit about kilowatt hours and photovoltaic energy. I would like this to be of service to people as they come up with practical ways of spreading that goodness on a basis that's not necessarily all geared towards certain wealthiest.
Dana, being a part of a cooperative to me means sharing. And I think so often we think about sharing the benefits and like dividends, but it's also sharing the responsibility and the costs and the burdens. And I think that that is like the side of it that we often don't see, and we're willing to let, you know, when I think about like energy specifically, it's like we see decisions being made that don't involve us, and we're fine with it until things get bad. And so it's like, what does it mean to be involved in the process from the beginning, where you're like sharing that responsibility or those liabilities, but like with full informed awareness, and consenting to like, yeah, taking on that kind of responsibility as well. In terms of myself stepping into the energy future, I would like to maybe sit in the energy future. I feel like I've been walking towards it. I've been running towards it really fast for a while, but I think about like bringing cooperatives, especially to like rural areas, where especially the power outages right now hitting very differently, and yeah, just like spreading the like consciousness that this is possible. What we're doing here isn't just for you, Oakland, but it's something that anyone can bring into their own communities.
Yes, yes to all that. These amazing people in the circle. I'm Susan, and to me, being part of cooperative is not just about sharing, but it's also about partnering and building first of all trust and building relationships, which oftentimes in our world is really this when we only deal with it transactional. We're working as part of a cooperative where we're literally building that trust, building the relationships like we see, like we're doing in this room here, which can look very different than the, you know, everyday part of society, which is, you know, let's just say capitalism, runaway capitalism. So really looking forward to that, the sharing piece. We're looking at mutual aid and not charity. Where we're really mutually supporting each other, and especially the vulnerable members of our cooperative, of our communities, and in everyday times, and also when times when there literally are emergencies. and looking at how we can take care of the vulnerable members of our communities. And myself stepping in to shape this energy future, I've been doing a lot of this work around community resilience. I have a focus in resilience hubs, looking at sites as really demonstrations for resilience, integrating disaster preparedness and sustainability and community. And I really see this work as very integral to the work of resilient hubs, especially as just something as simple as this, or amazing as a battery cooperative. I'd love to see battery cooperatives at every resilient hubs. We're working at 6 of them, for example, in San Diego. I'd love to see that in with the work that I am doing. And also looking at, I see a lot of these community organizing that we all are doing. There's so many other organizations are also doing. I'd love to see, not looking at just energy, but food and water, et cetera, and how we can all work together to really support each other with our community organizing, because it's hard. This is hard, joyful work, but it's a challenge. So how can we all work best together?
Oh, we've got some folks stepping in. Thank you.
Thank you for our brave first board.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, I'm Adriana. Echoing what I've heard before in the inner circle and adding that joining a cooperative is a commitment. For me, it's a long-term commitment. And cooperative also means being cooperative. So quite literally, like the work of being in a cooperative is being cooperative. And I've been in a cooperative movement for about 12 years now. And knowing the principles, the 7 principles that we learned, and leaning into principle 6, cooperation among cooperative, knowing that we aren't here isolated in this energy cooperative, but that it's our commitment to connect with cooperatives across different sectors and outside of the Bay Area, hyperlocally, in your neighborhoods, in the city, statewide, but also when you go to other places, check out other cooperatives, learn about other cooperatives in different industries and sectors all around the world, and bring what you learn back and contribute to your cooperative here at home.
What does being a part of a cooperative mean to me? I think, wow, there's so much to say there. I think the important thing for me is understanding that we all are coming from different places. Like, we always like to think that cooperation is going to be easy. It's not. And it's about hearing each other out as much as it is as understanding that we all think that we can all be there and, be pushing the boundary of what we as a collective group of people believe in. But the reality is lots of people are dealing with lots of parts of their lives. And so I really think embracing and understanding, stepping up where you can and where you can't, and also communicating that is very important for, society and people understanding how to literally cooperate with each other. So that's something that I've always loved about participating and learning with people. And then just secondly, kind of tying both of them together. I think we just don't have enough space or opportunities to cooperate anymore. Again, because our lives, they're taking our time, and people are trying to take our attention with our phones. And I really appreciate everyone being here in the moment right now. Like, that's huge. So anyway, I appreciate people coming together and listening to each other and really trying to focus and understanding what they can bring to the table and when they can bring it to the table. Both those are important. Thank you.
Yeah, what y'all are saying about, you know, how busy we are in other parts of our lives, it makes me think about how we're forced to meet our needs through isolation so much in the system. And they kind of make that the path of least resistance. And so for me, this cooperative is about meeting our needs in a way that's joyful and connected and liberatory and showing that, you know, that that's an example for folks that we can do this differently. And I think, you know, in doing that, we're going to learn what barriers we come up against, because this economy does not make this easy, as you know, very well from the work you've been doing in the food sector, right? And so the rules of the game are set up against people cooperating and against, you know, us having people power, really, right? And so I want to see us investing in ourselves as, you know, as collectives of people able to meet our own needs together, collectively, cooperatively, in ways that teach us what's wrong with the game and embolden us to fight it, you know, and change the rules. And so I think that the advocacy and the campaigning and the organizing, but based in like the realness of how we're doing it. So.
Hey y'all, I'm Elizabeth. I work at the Sustainable Economies Law Center. The Law Center got a lot of applause around here tonight, but I didn't do any of that. I'm just working cooperatively with a bunch of people who are doing amazing things in the energy sector, including this amazing cooperative that we helped to incubate. And it's fantastic. What cooperative means to me, I feel like mostly it means practice of empowerment. I do believe that the capitalist system is hell-bent on keeping us all isolated, and the entire legal system is structured to make it really, really difficult to come together in ways that we humanly want to. Like there is a need to like meet people and work together, but we don't know how. We just having this conversation today about how little we know about working in groups. The thing that came to mind was, okay, you're in school. Remember the group projects? Did anybody really have a functional group in a group project? Like it's almost like there's a conspiracy to have us like not be able to work in groups. It's like insane. So I feel like the practice itself, it can be messy, it can be hard, but it's really important for people to learn because we are the only answer, I think, that is out there. And we are enough. And we come together with people and we learn about them and we learn to cooperate. And we get better at it because we practice. So I think that's about what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you all so much for participating in the program. Servicing. Thank you all so much. Servicing the wealth of knowledge. I know there's some people who are shy and holding it back, but just to know that we have so much answers just between all of us here. We don't need to wait for other people to come save us. We don't need more. We have so much just being together. And we are almost at the end. We're almost at time here. I need to move my slide if I can. How do I do that? Oh, you're the one who's controlling the slides. Yes, great. So just a little, I do also. Oh, Yvette wants to tap in. Yvette, you want to say something?
Yeah, because I like to make use of every resource available. And so tapping in right now is a resource to me. Thank you. Wow. I was just explaining to my son who was sitting here at the table with me asking like, how do you feel like things have changed or this org has changed since you first started, like back when we first got to the States when we moved back from Mexico? And I was saying to him that it's kind of like the root of the thing started at the Sustainable Economies Law Center. And there's other orgs that Sustainable Economies Law Center started, rooted, kind of, maybe not exactly the same time, but kind of in the same era. And what I'm thinking of is E.B. Pratt, and how we're similar to E.B. Pratt in that and I'm sorry if I'm off topic, I apologize. But like, you know, it's a liberatory organization trying to change the DNA of how things work. And so E.B. Pratt has their thing, and they're figured out how to bring people together to pool their resources to purchase property that they live in so that they can become their own landlords. And I feel like this org is very similar in that it's also liberatory, and it's working with people to figure out how to pool their resources to be more in charge of their energy acquisition. And so all that to say, like, there's a lot here, and it's really like, there's a way that we can, I think, go out there and find the org that is like supporting the people who are finding their energy resilience, their energy sovereignty, like water sovereignty, energy sovereignty, you know, where you live sovereignty. And I feel like it would be very, very cool to kind of maybe take a step back and trying to approach the world like, hey, community, we're here, let's do stuff. But maybe take a step back and approach the funding world that says, hey, we're trying to get this thing done and we need your support and we're super fucking awesome. And you want to put your money in this thing. And we want your fucking Mellon grant, and we want your whatever the heck else grant it is, because we're doing some incredibly replicable work here. And I think, like, yeah, I would say take a step back from trying to approach community and take a big step forward into the granting world to say, nobody out there is doing what we're doing, and what we're doing when we get there is going to be replicable in all the communities that need it and want it. And that's where I think our money should go. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Yvette was part of the first small crew of people that led to the creation of People Power Solar Cooperative. Yvette was part of the team choosing the name People Power Solar Cooperative. In fact,
yeah,
that's right. And Yvette had mentioned money, and that also brings us back into the question that Lasha mentioned about future business model, financial sustainability. Just wanted to drop a quick note because we're a cooperative, we're deciding everything together, even though we're all somewhat separated, couldn't come together as much as we like to. But in February, the board of People Power Solar Cooperative, along with a few members of the cooperative that's been very active in engaging and building a lot of these things that you see, will come together and strategize around our long-term pathways for something that will be much more sustainable now that we're finding our new normal, coming out from like getting used to feeling a little more safe to be with each other. What does that look like? How do we engage so we can make it replicable and we can tell everyone, not just funders, but ourselves, that we are fucking awesome, like Yvette says. And so I should really change this share so it doesn't look like we're only looking at Yvette. Great. Anyone more?